Hey everybody, this is Catherine from Yoked, and here we talk about having Christian principles in our dating and marriage relationships. So I was supposed to come on yesterday, but I didn't. I looked outside. We did get more than one snowflake, but yesterday I was going to talk about a newsletter that I sent out, and I really wasn't, I guess, in the headspace to talk about it yesterday, but today I kind of feel like I am. I'm going to talk about unmet expectations and forgiveness, and especially not just for dating and marriage, but in all relationships. So forgive me if I'm talking about myself a little bit. I try to come on and, give insight to others who, may be struggling with an issue, but to be frankly honest, between last night and today, something happened that really upset me, and that's putting it politely. And before any of my family members are watching this and, wondering what's going on in my house, it has nothing to do with my marriage. It's something else that was, that kind of happened and really upset me and kind of got me into the mindset where if I said something, it was not going to come out well. So I had to take a step back and do a devotional and pray a little bit before I came on here and talked to you. So my hope going into this is that what I have to say will resonate with you. And if there's an issue with forgiveness and unmet expectations that you're struggling with, that whatever I say will kind of help you with that situation. But I'm not going to go into detail about what happened, but more talk about my response to the situation and how I'm struggling with what my flesh wants me to do and what I know is expected of me as a Christian. Like I said the other day, I sent out a newsletter, and it was about a devotional talking about forgiveness. And what I wrote in that newsletter was that forgiveness is a virtue. And a lot of times in our relationships, when we're going into, marriage or whatever, we're going in with the goal of being a Proverbs 31 woman, how she was just like this amazing woman of God. Her husband loved her, her family loved her, and people loved her husband because of her. Like she was all that in a bag of chips. But when I say, when I mention the Proverbs 31 woman, she was known in the Bible as being a virtuous woman. So she had a lot of virtues. A virtue is defined as behavior showing a high moral standard. And it's not being on your high horse and thinking that you're, better than other people or that you deserve things because you're more popular or anything of that regard. Having a high moral standard is more of taking the high road in situations. I love Michelle Obama when she was, campaigning. She was saying when they go low, we go high. And I don't watch a lot of politics or anything of that nature, but I heard her say that, and it really stood out to me because there are a lot of things that are going to happen in life where people are going to do things to you. They're going to try to undermine you. They're broken themselves, so they want you to be broken with them. There's something to the saying that misery loves company. And having a high moral standard means that you don't stoop to the level of those who are trying to bring you down with them. And it's really hard to not go there. And I say that from a standpoint because I am absolutely struggling with that today. And but today forgiveness is something that I need to work on and address. Kind of taking the spotlight off of me for just a moment. A lot of times in our marriages especially, things will happen. We expect our spouses to do a lot of things, and sometimes we don't tell them that we need these things from them. So when our spouses don't know that we need help or we need, a little extra encouragement, and they don't provide those things, then we start to become resentful because they're not meeting the needs that they don't even know that we need from them. So the biggest part of that is making sure that you keep lines of communication open and talk to your spouse, talk to whoever you're dating, and let them know, hey, this is where I am and this is what I need from you. But going back to what I was kind of dealing with, what I am dealing with, the biggest thing I've learned about forgiveness is that it releases you from the burden of holding on to hurt and anger. A lot of times when people hurt you, they don't even know that they hurt you. They didn't mean to. Even in the case that they did do something intentionally, it's up to you whether or not you let those feelings and emotions continue to dictate your path and to determine exactly what it is that you are meant here to do. When people do things intentionally, it's often to get you off course from what you know you're supposed to be doing. So you have to be very vigilant about staying on task and keeping your eyes on the target that you're aiming for, not getting distracted by all of the things that are going on around you. And the other thing about unmet expectations, it holds people, and I probably said this, but it holds people to a standard that they don't know exists. And it's a different situation when you tell somebody that you need something from them and then they choose not to do it, versus not telling somebody you need something and then being mad when they don't do it. A lot of times, I've done a lot of, research, and of course with the writing that I do on the blog, people, give reasons for, like, what is the biggest reason for divorce? And folks say, infidelity or, lack of communication, and all of those things, they do stem from a lack of communication, but a lot of it comes from people having expectations in their relationship that are not being met because you don't convey that information. So if you are wanting to be married and there's an issue in your current relationship that you don't know how to get around, ask yourself, first of all, did you tell the other person exactly what it was that you needed? If, and the same goes, if you're married, is there something that's really bothering you? You feel like you're stuck in your marriage in a certain situation. Have you talked to your spouse and told them, hey, this is what I think is going on. This is how I'm perceiving it. Can we talk about it and try to come to a resolution? A lot of problems that we have in our relationships and in our marriages can be solved by first telling the other person what's going on. Secondly, forgiving the other person when they fall short. The other thing that I learned kind of in the devotional that I was doing is that Jesus places a lot of emphasis on relationships. So when we go to him and ask for forgiveness, he expects us to have, forgiven those that have hurt us too, because nobody is better than another person. There is no reason that I deserve to be forgiven more than my neighbor. I've not done anything to earn more forgiveness tickets. That's not a thing. The scripture, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but the scripture is quoted, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you, which is, basically the golden rule. You treat people the way that you want to be treated. So when it comes to relationships, marriages, friendships, business partnerships, be sure that you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And even when they don't do as you would have them do, learn to forgive them. It'll take a weight off of your heart. It'll take a lot off of your mind and help you to continue walking into your purpose despite what other people are doing around you. So I just wanted to come here for just a few minutes and get that off of my chest and tell y'all that I love you and have a great day. Make sure that you sign up for the newsletter. I'm going through a daily devotional and sharing my thoughts on those devotionals every single day. And they're helping me a whole lot in my efforts to minister to others. So I think it would be, an awesome thing for you to be a part of. Just head over to the blog, beingyoked.com, and sign up for the newsletter. You'll see it at the top right-hand corner, and it's called Living in My Brokenness. So make sure you stay tuned for the blog. I got a lot of good content coming, and I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.